Hi guys, my name is Deji Onadeko, and I'm here to talk about a popular phenomenon, one that might have held you back a little much more than you truly care to admit. It's called procrastination, right? And let's talk about it from the reality of what it is, especially as personally as possible. You see me here that I'm here. There's a million and one things that I think that I should have become if I only learned to manage my tendencies to procrastinate things a lot better and a lot earlier. And one of the scariest things is settling with the realities of the fact that you don't do things in good time. Listen, it's called good time because there's always a good time to do it. And there's this popular saying that says the best time to plant a tree, right, was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now. Yada yada yada. All that inspirational, motivational talk doesn't get you out of your bed to get these little things done. I get it because I can relate, right? And what's crazy is how much procrastination doesn't just steal your time. I mean, if all it did was steal your time, because time is a concept, right? If all it did was you just don't get things done in good time, but you did it anyways, that would have been okay. But the scary thing about procrastinating is, and I'll tell you this for free, and I'll say it straight to your face, is that procrastination is stealing your joy, is stealing your time away. And I'll tell you how. Remember how you have you had very few things to do. Little by little, you'll be like, I'll do later, and then you find yourself mounted up with so many things to do, formed by little things that you could have done immediately. And now you are not just demotivated to do it, you're also depressed, you're also sad, your confidence has dropped, you're anxious, right? You are in what I call freeze mode. You can't move forward, but there's no back to go, and you are just there, and you are wondering, oh my God, my mates are, people are, why am I at this point that I am? You see, all that are a function of the fact that you've spent so much time thinking of what you will do, but not actually doing them. And I'll tell you one thing. If you notice, you now seem to have a lot of time in your hands. You're not like, what am I supposed to be doing with my time? I'm speaking from strong experience. Like, I'm so free. Actually, you will not. If you take time to pay attention to the things that you're supposed to be doing, you would find very valuable things that you should slot into that time, that if only you built a habit of enjoying the execution of these processes, then you would be a lot more achieving. So, I've been able to point out what it is that procrastination might be doing to your life, to your career, and to the fact that you might be wasting away. I'm trying not to sugarcoat these things for you, because I know that hard truth sometimes scares you more than they encourage you. But the good thing about this hard truth is you can see it through. You can live above it. And now, I'm not just inspiring you or motivating you to. I will tell you how I figured it out and hope that it works for you as well. Stick around in this video. Let's get into it. Watcha! I'll expressly explain 6 effects of procrastination. Now, if at all you want to skip this video, see through these 6 effects. If you are free of these 6 effects, if these 6 effects does not explain your situation, next, go on to the next, right? That's okay. But if you find at least 3 of these 6 to be a reality that you're experiencing right now, then you should sit to the end of this video. All right, let's try that. Decreased productivity. Now, procrastination leads to wasted time and missed deadlines, resulting in decreased productivity and efficiency. Tasks often take longer to complete than necessary, leading to rushed work and subpar outcomes. So the problem with a procrastinator, a lot of times, not every time, is that you have something called ADHD, attention deficit hyperactive disorder. By the way, I do not think the name of that phenomenon is correct, because it's not an attention deficit. It's the fact that people like us with ADHD have a lot of things going on in our brains at the same time. So we are not able to clog it out clearly and take direct actions, right? So while normal people, we call normal people neurotypical people, while normal people are motivated by goals, motivated by consequences, if I do 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm going to achieve this, this, and this. Normal people. People like us are motivated by interest, adventure, and the dopamine rush of getting things done. So if we cannot peculiarly get interested in it, we're not able to get it done. If we're not able to get the dopamine rush from it, we're not able to get it done. So the reason why you wait till the last minute to get it done is because the deadline, that the fact that you're approaching a deadline finally becomes enough motivation because it triggers your dopamine rush. Meanwhile, so what would have happened is, notice through your primary, secondary school, even tertiary level, even work, is that you have 2 months to get something done. You will not start until 2 days before the deadline. It's not necessarily your fault. You have to understand this from this perspective. There's something up with your brain that does not activate enough to get you motivated to get things done until there is a rush. But the problem is, you get them done nonetheless. But notice that you are not able to explore the potential of how effective you could have been if you started early enough. That's what the real problem is. So you then do subpar projects. You're not able to pay enough time to to the details. You're not able to put in enough time to bring out more results from that stuff. You get it done. You are a genius. You do get it done. Listen, the crazy thing is, if you are more likely to procrastinate, it's because you are a prodigy. You are special. You're very creative. If you are, always leaning towards the tendencies of procrastinating. But what lies there is the potential of what you can achieve if only you can live above that limitation that makes you always want to do it later. All right, let's go to number 2. Number 2 is increased stress and anxiety. Again, I said, if any of these 6 is not you, pack and go. But sit out the 6, hear me out. Procrastination fuels feelings of stress and anxiety as deadlines approach and tasks piles up. The constant worry about unfinished work creates a cycle of negative emotions, further impairing performance and well-being. It's crazy. People like us, what happens is, there's something to get done. Instead of us to get it done, we are worrying about getting it done and still don't get it done. Ain't that crazy, bro? Like, that's like some shit. Like, you are just out thinking, I should. When would you actually get it done? And what that does is it makes you a lot more anxious. It makes you worried, scared. Your entire well-being deteriorates because of the pressure of having to deal with that thought process over and over and over again. So that's number 2, right? Increased stress and anxiety. Initially, we're decreasing productivity. I wish I could draw out a graph for you. We're decreasing productivity and we're increasing stress. You're now angry with everybody around you. When it's not them that said you should not start your report early. When it's not them that say you should not start your thesis early. Everything now pisses you off. You now become easily triggered. And that just goes on to stress you a lot more. That's number 2. Number 3, loss of motivation. Chronic procrastination can erode motivation over time, making it harder to start and complete tasks. The loss of motivation can extend beyond specific projects, affecting overall drive and ambition. That's crazy. The one thing that you're not doing is, you are not doing project A. You've not started. Project A, I'll bust the brain, could just be as simple as painting your room. I'll do it later. Project B could be that it could just be as simple as changing the bulb in your bedroom. I'll do it later. Project C could be that the handle of your door is bad. I'll do it later. So we just to change the handle. But then project C is your thesis. Project D is your report at work, your quarterly report that you should have sent in. Oh, note that project A, B, and C didn't seem so important. Project C, project B, D, the importance is already increasing. But guess what? You have already lost the motivation for achieving results that when it gets to major things, you also can't get yourself to get them done. You see how the ripple effect is affecting everything around you? So much so that it begins to affect your relationships with people, and you begin to doubt whether you even have capacity to achieve it in the first place. Meanwhile, you have more than enough capacity to do and to do exceedingly well. But because of that loss of motivation from not doing the little things and then building into the major things, nothing gets done. You there feel me? So let's go to number 4. Negative impact on health. I feel like that has already been implied with stress and anxiety, but it's important that we state it very clearly because we underestimate how these little things go on to even affect part of your body that you think, waiting concern my lungs and the fact say I dey stressed. Waiting concern my skin. Like, sometimes, I'll go see a dermatologist and, there's something popping up. If I'll be honest with you, my skin is perfect. I necessarily don't go see a dermatologist. I'm just making an example because, there are a lot of people, right? A lot of friends, right? That will go and see a dermatologist. There's a lot of breakouts. I never have breakouts. Never. I'm like super fresh. That's bad. But a lot of friends will go and see a dermatologist and they will come back and say, the dermatologist said the problem is that they are stressed. And you're like, waiting concern stress. Waiting concerns stress and your skin. Now, the stress and anxiety associated with procrastination can take a toll on physical health, leading to increased level of cortisol, the stress hormone. You see, everything in life is biological, physical, and spiritual. Physical and biological are the same. They're physical. We can see them. But the difference with biology is things happening on your inside. Who would have thought that procrastination will increase cortisol hormones? What is cortisol hormones? Cortisol hormones are the hormones that your body releases when you are stressed, right? And potential long-term health problems such as insomnia, weakened immune function, and cardiovascular issues can be triggered by cortisol. And to understand these three things I mentioned, insomnia, what's the big deal? You don't sleep a lot, you take drugs. The third one, cardiovascular disease. Maybe it's just the heart. I'll take care of the heart. Weakened immune system. Immune system in the first place is your body's capacity to fight against any sickness. But when you are stressed from the effect of procrastination, your body loses strength to fight. It now does not matter the disease that comes. Your body has lost the capacity to fight it or is losing the capacity. So it could be cough. It could be ordinary malaria. It could be something that your body ordinarily will stand against. Your white blood cells will put up a good fight. But because of you are stressed from procrastination, everything comes together to then weaken that system. Guys, listen. The reason why it's important for me to point out on the problems of this while trying to explain this to you is so that you will understand the long-term effect of the decisions that you are currently making. And, the reason why it's important for you to do the hard work to get it done. Because you will not miraculously wake up one day and boom, you are motivated to clear your desk. That's not going to happen. In fact, with ADHD people, that actually happens, but maybe once in 6 months. You wake up one day and boom! That's been my life since I was a kid. You will not be proud of the once in a while that you got it done, even as a Christian. You barely pray. You wake up every day, boom, you start your day. But there's that once in 3 months, once in 6 months, once in a year, 12 hours prayer. Jesus, go. And you're on a mountain, you pray for 12 intense hours and you're feeling proud of yourself. But researchers will even tell you that the person who prays 12 hours once in a year is nothing close to the person who prays for 5 minutes every day of the year. Nothing close in intensity, in effects, in actual impacts than the person who does it in tiny bits but consistently. Let's go to the fourth one. Damage to reputation and relationships. This one is crazy and you underestimate it. And you notice that, like I've said, if as I'm done, I'm in number 5 now. Once I'm done with number 6 and you don't find yourself on this, next the video or share it to somebody that needs it, or share it to somebody that you're like, this is Catherine, this is so you. So damage to reputation and relationships. If you notice, if the first 4 I mentioned, you already find yourself on one of them or 2 of them or 3 of them, you will notice that the relationships around you seem to suffer from the effect of this. And your answer is, but that's the way I am now. And beginning of the year, anybody will not agree with the person where I be. You don't go buy scissors so you go cut them off. But the reality is, when you are not achieving enough with the time that you should be putting, you are reducing the quality of your character. Procrastination can damage relationships and professional reputation, as missed deadlines and incomplete tasks can lead to disappointment, frustration, and a loss of trust from colleagues, friends, and family members. I wish it ended at just colleagues. But you even begin to find out your friends and your family members who kind of have to stay friends with you because they know how amazing you are on the days that you're not procrastinating, everything that you have to get done, begin to give up on your impact to truly get things done. I have an uncle since I was a child. And my uncle is a genius when it comes to electrical stuff. He's fantastic. He's a natural at it. He's really good at it. Fixing your TV, fixing your this, electrical stuff. But what I remember of this uncle of mine is that every time they ask him to come and fix stuff in the house, the call will have to be made at least 10 times over a space of 10 weeks to only come and pick the gadgets, and then maybe another 10 weeks to return it. And it's simply because he keeps procrastinating. What has happened over the years is that even when tangible projects come on our hand, despite how much we understand of it, a genius that he might be, we don't recommend him. That's what a destroyed reputation looks like. We don't recommend him. Meaning that there are probably financial situations that he's currently going through, fulfillment situations that he's currently going through, feeling underfulfilled with his life, that could have been sorted out, fixed, solved with some of these amazing recommendations that we could have made to him, that we have made to other friends who are not even family members. In fact, other people who are not even friends. And that thing has elevated their life, but it keeps eluding him because of the person that he has grown to become to us, the guy who doesn't get things done. Do you want to be the guy that doesn't get things done? I don't think so. I don't think so. Missed opportunities. That's my number 6. And I think that, I kind of already said that on my number 5, right? Procrastination often results in missed opportunities for personal and professional growth. Delaying important tasks can prevent individuals from seizing opportunities for advancement, learning, and self-improvement. So I'm going to use this one and stick it to learning and self-improvement. Imagine that I have to start this video. I'm starting today. I'm starting today by implication means that I've probably procrastinated this thing maybe by a day or by maybe 5 years. Meaning that I might have missed out on the growth that I could have achieved over the last 5 years, and I'm only starting today. Remember that I said the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, but the second best time is now. But when you even plant it now, the reality remains that you have missed out on 20 years. Before you sit back and say, oh my God, I've missed out on so much time in my life. Remember that there's still time to lose. So if you do not pay attention now, time that you lost, you will double it. So you could either have lost 20 years and regain the next 5, 10 by making changes in your life, or lose 20 years and lose another 20. Make your choice. And, at the end of the day, we need to understand that the effect of procrastination is not just about delaying tasks. It doesn't stop there. They can have profound implications on individuals' mental and physical well-being, relationships, and long-term success. Somebody clap for me. All right. Now, the good thing about this conversation is I am then going to go into a strategy, right? I'll call this a 5-part strategy on how to eradicate procrastination from your life starting now. 5-part strategy. And listen, remember earlier, I said that if those 6 does not concern you, scroll. If you're still watching, it means that it concerns you. I have another opportunity for you to leave this video. If you will not put in the work, if you will not do, if you will not, and there are no ifs here, because I feel like if you watch this far, it's because you wanna. So I take that back, right? I believe that you want to make these changes. I believe that you want to see this effect in your life. I believe that you want to be able to compete properly in the world and not allow little things like just not getting the small things done hold you back, right? So let's get that out of the way. And now I'm now going to give you 5 effective strategies that I have used to get yourself out of a procrastinating behavior. So, Eat That Frog is one of the most popular books on procrastinating, right? And Eat That Frog explains that you should do the big tasks first and then go to the small ones. And in many areas in life, that's important. For example, with family and relationships, with your life generally, you want to pay attention to the big things, the big rocks. The big rocks are things like family, relationships, career, before you begin to put the small things like, acquiring, things about life that would make you happy, whatever. Doing the big things first, kind of, and that's what everybody teaches. Eat the Frog. Eat the Frog explains, do the difficult task now. But I've learned it. I've learned to evade procrastination in a different way, and it's in the reverse. Doing the small things first. Doing the small things first. So I'll give you these 5 strategies. Number 1 is immediate action. You see, procrastinators often delay tasks because they feel overwhelmed or uncertain about where to start. So we spend most of the time deciding to start. Meanwhile, if an aeroplane stays in the hangar and they do meetings upon meetings upon meetings on how it will take off, and they never put it on the runway and actually get it to take off, the aeroplane will never fly. The moment you begin to overthink starting that project, just start. You see, by starting with the simple task, immediately you break the cycle of procrastination and inertia. Taking immediate action creates momentum and builds the habit of getting things done promptly, helping you to overcome the tendency to procrastinate. I want to take that line again. Taking immediate action creates momentum and builds the habit of getting things done promptly. I'll give you an example. I started running recently. And why did I start running? For so long, I've known that I really want to exercise. I'll tell you how this changed. I want to have Ige. You know what they call Ige? 6 packs, big chest. That's what I want. So several years, over and over again, I'm going to register in the gym, hit the gym, 21 days, blah. 1, 2, 3 months in, I'm out. But I realized that to actually build Ige, 6 packs, what I need is the habit of exercising. To build a habit, you don't need to do it all at once. Building a habit means building a system. And the thing about systems is that it instills principles in you that can then be used on larger scales. So what I do now every morning, rather than hit the gym, as an exception, is wake up and run. I do only 4 laps. Today I did 5. I do only 4 laps and I come back home and I sit down. And I know that if I keep up with that little, that small, starting it immediately and not waiting till I can afford the gym, not waiting till I have designer gym clothes, gym wears, just starting right away, I will build the habit so much so that I will find myself building the Ige, and it won't have been about the Ige. Ige is 6 packs, whatever. You get my point. I don't know if you get what I mean. Don't wait till it compounds. You need to fix your door. Pick up a screwdriver, open it, fix it. You need to change a bulb, change it. Don't wait till it becomes a lot. Don't spend too much time wondering what to do or how to do it and not even get to do it. Start now, and don't start with the big one, because the thing about people like us is that we feed off gratification, immediate gratification. We kind of don't know how to wait through things to see long-term results. So what happens is we're feeding off getting gratified. The gratification comes from the excitement of doing the big thing. So instead of you starting with the small one, you're supposed to change your knob. Instead of you starting with changing your knob, you want to start with painting your room, because you know that once you enter your room and everywhere is painted, the gratification excites you. But guess what? You will then procrastinate that both the door and the painting, none of them gets done. Meanwhile, if you change the door, that little slight gratification that comes from the fact that when you came in, all you needed to do was do this and push and the door opened, will help build momentum for you to actually motivate yourself to paint the room. I don't know if you see what I'm trying to say. I'm really hoping that you guys can get this. And the exciting thing about this is I'm not teaching you stuff off a book. I'm teaching you stuff off real life, off my life, that is working for me. And I know that if you apply them effectively, they'll work for you too. Let's go to number 2. Number 2, easing into productivity. Beginning with small tasks allow procrastinators to ease into a state of productivity. These tasks are typically less daunting and require less time and effort to complete. By checking off small items off your to-do list, individuals gain a sense of accomplishment and motivation to then tackle larger tasks gradually. Remember, the problem with people like us is that we don't necessarily understand the place of time in process. So you have to then do the hard work of easing into that so that it can become a process that you are capable of achieving. It's in the capacity, it's in becoming capable of achieving those processes that it becomes a system, that system will do big things. Let me explain. I studied engineering in the university. I was studying engineering in the university. And I remember one of the first things we did was we went to what they call the Lekki-Ekpe Free Trade Zone. And the Lekki-Ekpe Free Trade Zone is, they are building some type of a port where people can come and shop from different parts of the world. It's a very huge project. And one of the problems they had was the water. This analogy is crazy. One of the problems they had is that the water, comes to the shore with a lot of force and then, causes a lot of interaction with the land that they're not able to do so much at the shore of the water. You'll be shocked at how they solved this problem. They recreated, and my fellow engineering students will know how this works. They created the entire situation on a small scale. It's madness. On a small bucket, small casing in a box, they will put the water, salt water. They will be specific with the terms. Salt water, the same pH level of the water on this in the sea. The sand, the same type of sand. The trees where they were positioned, the weights of the trees there, they will scale it down to fit that. So they've taken that big situation and put it on this small box. Then they will do several researches on that small box on how to stop this water moving like this on this small box. For that particular one, it was sent to, I think, Netherlands for research. While they were researching in Nigeria, they were researching in the Netherlands. When they achieve it on that small scale, then they will come and replicate it on the OC, on the big scale. And 99.9 times out of 100, that replica on the big scale works because systems are universal. Systems are universal. So what you are trying to do by easing into productivity is getting yourself to become systemic with handling tasks, so that when it is just about changing your knob, or it's about applying for, or it's about finishing your thesis as a PhD student, you have built a system of finishing things, of starting, doing, and finishing. As it worked small on that little bucket and then works on the large scale of the old free trade zone, it's about to work for you too, from just changing your knob, painting your room, and also then applying or finishing that thesis or that big project or that production that you were already supposed to do. So is it? Don't overlook the seemingly unimportant things. You see, it's that frog kind of teaches us to, focus on the big things. Actually, don't overlook the small things, because the small things helps you gain confidence to do the big things. I have another fantastic example. Listen, if you stick around with my videos, one of the things you're going to enjoy are my analogies. And this one is crazy. David and Goliath. Gosh. Goliath was some big, it's in the Bible, right? You all go check it out. Goliath was some big guy. The Bible describes how tall he was, huge he was, and how the whole army of Israel didn't know how to face him. Don't forget that the army of Israel had won several wars. They had fought several people as a unit. But there was this one guy that says, "Bring me your best man." Men who had conquered big things, who had fought in wars, killed so many people, didn't have the guts to face Goliath. But there was this boy. His name is David. In the bush, what he was killing were bears and lions. Seemingly smaller than killing a big man with the awareness and with tools and with equipment and with an army. But the truth is, killing a bear is not so small, but you get my point, right? He has killed a bear. He has killed a lion. Guess what? I'm sure that if we did more research into David, he didn't start by killing bears and lions. Maybe he would have started by killing foxes, maybe snakes, maybe smaller animals that he could take on. Maybe, he started by, protecting his cattle from just another aggressive little cow or little sheep. And then he will take it. Maybe on some occasions, what we hear is the fact that he killed the lion. Maybe on a lot of occasions, of course, it makes sense that on a lot of occasions, that lion actually killed some of his cattle. Does that make sense to you? Like, there were times when the lion would have come and actually killed 1, 2, 3 of his sheep. But, the day the lion came, that day he couldn't kill the lion, but 2 days before he killed a fox. Or he killed a snake. Subsequently, he grew the confidence to kill the lion or to kill the bear. And guess what? That same system of that confidence helped him kill Goliath. And he didn't stop there. He became king from the fact that he was able to impress the world around him by that thing. And they were like, "Oh my God, you killed Goliath." But guys, I'd been killing foxes. I'm easing into the productivity. In this case, productivity is killing Goliath. I've been killing foxes. I've been killing snakes. I've been fixing my doorknobs. I've been doing my laundry. I've been I've been cleaning my car. I've been clearing my space. I've been making the calls that needs to be made. I'm doing it. I'm easing into the productivity so much so that productivity no longer becomes a thing of, productivity no longer becomes a mystery. Shoot, we've just been on number 2. Number 3, avoiding last minute rush. Procrastinators often thrive on the deadline rush of completing tasks at the last minute. However, this habit can lead to rush to work, errors, and subpar outcomes. By starting with small tasks early, individuals can avoid the stress and pressure of looming deadlines, giving them ample time to focus on quality attention to detail. Because the truth is, if you start early, listen, if you don't start early, the dopamine rush is a very satisfying one, by the way. Talking from experience. How you didn't get it done for the last 2 weeks. 1 minute to deadline time, and you got it done, and you're so proud of yourself. Meanwhile, if you started early, you can benefit from both the fact that you started in good time, you're paying enough attention to the details, and even the rush of the deadlines approaching. You can enjoy the feeling of both. Don't rip yourself off actually actualizing properly conducted, completed task because you only focused on the big things, then start in good time, and then had to rush through it. Avoid starting at the last minute. Avoid starting at the last minute. Listen, this part is easier said than done. But the thing is, if you've started with the small things already, you built a system of doing a B, you are going to build up to in good time, and then start with the things that you should have been doing, or the bigger things in good time as well. Waiting to the last minute always drops the productivity of your work, the effectivity of your work, the efficiency actually of your work. Don't wait to the last minute. Start now, right? And then number 4, attention to details, right? When individuals are under the pressure of a looming deadline, they overlook the important details and rush through the task. And then number 5, you're going to then build consistency. So what I've given you are pillars of the why you should start. 2 things. Start now, start with the small things. Start now, start with the small things. And I've given you 5 pillars of why. Immediate action, start already. 2, easing into productivity. 3, avoiding last minute rush. 4, attention to detail. 5, building consistency. Listen, starting with small tasks immediately is an effective strategy for combating procrastination. By breaking tasks into manageable chunks and taking proactive steps, not reactive steps. People like us are more reactive than proactive. And reactivity on any scale as an only strategy to face problems never works. That's why on the war front, they'll tell you the best form of defense is what? Attack. What they're just trying to say is, don't wait to react. Proact. Do it ahead. Do it now. Right? You can avoid the feeling of being overwhelmed, last minute rush, build momentum needed to achieve your goals with greater efficiency and effectiveness. If I should just really relate this to me and what changed the game for me. What changed the game for me is sitting down, some very small thing, just take off my shirt, just drop it here. My entire room is properly arranged. And I just drop the shirt here. And I'm like, oh, it's just a shirt. I'm going to pick it up later. Then, I remove my watch and I just drop it here. Oh, it's just my shirt and my watch. I'm going to pick it up later. Then, I close my laptop. And instead of me to take it to the table, I leave it here. It's just my shirt, my watch, and my laptop. Then I'm done shooting. I should clear my camera and the lights. I'm like, should be just mine. I'll do that later. Then it has become my shirt, my watch, my laptop, my camera, all laying unarranged. Then I'm like, okay, by the way, I need to do something else. I take off my pants and I drop it here. Oh, it has become my shirt, my watch, my laptop, my camera, and another shirt. And, I open a wardrobe. I open one of my wardrobes. I take something. And instead of me to close it back, I'm like, I'll close it back later. I go into the kitchen, I do something. I take something out of the fridge. I drop it, I do it. And I'm walking, I'm like, maybe it's just, I'll do that later. It has then become my shirt, my watch, my laptop, my screen, my camera, the opened wardrobe, the thing in the kitchen. The next minute you look and everywhere has become a mess. But it didn't become a mess in a twitch. It built on. But guess what? Imagine I dropped my shirt and I picked it up. I dropped my watch and I put it in my trinket box. I close my laptop and I put it on the table. Just imagine how decluttering that is. Like, a lot of times what we don't realize is our space is a representation of our mind. That's why even for the ADHD person or for the person who's going through a lot of procrastination, one of the things that they would tend to do when they are scared or anxious is they would arrange their space. But it would be a lot of arranging. And that arranging of a lot helps, the activity of arranging a lot of things that are scattered helps clear their minds. But the problem is, they're not fixing their problem. They are fixing a symptom of the problem they already caused. The reason why your mind is scattered in the first place is because this whole arrangement of your space is a definition, is a replication, is mirroring how you are arranging things in your mind in the very first place. So, I understand how difficult it is. Keep all that. The things you need to get done with work and all that. I'm going straight to our CTA now. The things you need to get done with work and all that. Start with your little space and promise yourself to do it now, despite how tired you may be. And what's crazy is, there are two types of free time you're having as an ADHD person or as somebody who procrastinates a lot. Number one type of free time is so much to do, you don't realize how important it is, you're not doing them, and you're free. What should I do now? What should I do now? What should I do now? Oh my God, I have time, but I have this, and this to do. Which one should I do now? Which one should I do now? Which one should I do now? You have time, but you are anxious. There's the second version, which is you've cleared everything. You now have time. Guess what? The time you have is not being laden by the burden of the anxiety of things already left undone. Hello, Twitter. Do you understand me? And I'm then instructing you now that your CTA, your call to action is start now, start small. And I would love, one of the things I want to really do with this channel is open up communication. I don't care how many subscribers we get to grow over the next few months. I want to be able to truly talk to people as personally as possible. So feel free to come into the comments and telling me how you've tried what I have taught today, how it worked or how it did not work. Feel free to give me feedback as well. I really want to hear from you. But there is no change without action. That's why we end every video with a call to action. And your call to action today is to start now, start small, and stay consistent. Let's try that. All right? I'll see you on the next video. I really hope that you enjoyed this. If you did, give me a thumbs up and do subscribe to the video so you can increase the quality of the content that we can bring to you. Remember, my name is Deji Onadeko, and I am that guy.